Something else.
It's for the sheriff's business.
Okay,
And please note for the record that this is a special commission meeting dated September 30th, and the topic is letter of commitment for the University of North Dakota grant proposal. Please note for the record that all commissioners are present except Ms. Peach, who was unable to make the meeting this morning. So the request that we have is coming from Sheriff Schneider. And so, Sheriff, I'm just going to turn it over to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Chair. A little different doing this over the phone. I apologize. I failed to recall the meeting I had at 8:45, so I'll try and make this brief. But the request comes today for a request for signature or request for my permission to sign a document, a letter of intent for the University of North Dakota. I'll also extend apologies for the University of North Dakota for lack of preparation. This grant is due tomorrow, and they're unable to submit for the grant without letters of support from governing agencies, specifically the Grand Forks Police Department and the Sheriff's Office. So what the grant entails is expanding augmented reality for first responders. They're looking for Grand Forks County to participate in the research and development of the program, which will involve utilizing our officers, our deputies to participate in training scenarios, testing the equipment, most likely with our UAS team. It'll also involve the purchase of equipment, specifically new drone platforms to gather information and technology to enhance their technology that they're proposing. There is no match on this grant. This grant specifically just involves us participating and being awarded equipment and being reimbursed for our time. So the request I bring before you today, barring any questions, is permission to sign off due to the fact that it'll be using county money, which will be reimbursed by the University of North Dakota through the grant project. Or if you prefer to have Madam Chair sign off on the letter of intent to participate. We are not being awarded any grant money in this. The grant application is all being ran through the University of North Dakota. The grant expands over a year a time frame of 3 years, and the total award amount will vary between $300,000 and $600,000 per year. So it's up to 1.8 million that they're eligible for. And like I said, another apology I need to make. Haley, I did not give you a copy of this because we didn't really have it in time. So one thing that is likely changed that might be concerning to the commission is the initial letter we submitted to you after I reviewed it again. It basically is, they worded it that we would basically be supplanting our budget by paying my salary and Chief Deputy Stromberg's salary for attending meetings. So we removed our names from the grant because obviously that's a part of our work duty. And Michelle Olson was able to get some clarification on why that was in there. So we did remove it. We replaced that with 2 deputies, which will be on the UAS team that will be participating outside of their regularly scheduled shifts. So there will be no supplanting in this budget for our salaries in the county. The biggest part of this proposal is the nearly $100,000 in equipment that the Sheriff's Office will obtain in drones. And, you know, my plan going into 2021 prior to 2020 occurring was to increase substantially our UAS budget on the Sheriff's Office. Unfortunately, I was unable to realistically approach the commission with that in a budget increase due to the circumstances. And lo and behold, this opportunity came up, which will bring us back up to par where we should be when this program originally launched with Sheriff Ross several years ago. So that will be a substantial benefit to participating in this program. Outside of that, I guess I'm open for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Commissioners, questions? No questions? Okay, so the 300,000 to 600,000, that's the benefit that's going to go for a 3-year period. That's the benefit that goes to UND, correct? Because we aren't getting anything other than reimbursements. and some equipment. Is that correct?
Correct. So University of North Dakota is applying for the grant, which is 300,000 to 600,000 per year for 3 years. Out of that money that they're awarded, they need to justify us being partners and how we're going to be partners in the grant, specifically financially. And the financial portion of the grant would be our salaries outside of regularly scheduled training and the equipment that we currently do not have that we cannot afford with our current budget.
So does that include then any overtime hours as well that you or staff might put in?
Yeah, not me. Being an elected official, I don't know if anything that I do is reimbursable.
Exactly.
So it will be specifically related to staff.
Okay.
The individuals on our UAS team assigned with the that are listed on the sheet there, that is the core group that will be working together. And then potentially Chief Deputy Stromberg, but like I said, he's exempt, so I highly doubt it unless it's something extraneous that they see as applicable.
Okay, thank you. And then my only other question, I guess, is for Haley. Sheriff Schneider said that you haven't had an opportunity to look at the contract or the letter of commitment, and do you want to look? It would seem that we should have you look at that before it's signed off on. What are your thoughts on that?
Madam Chair, I certainly can. I don't know that I've received a copy. If I get a copy, I can definitely look at it even this morning sometime.
So could you fax that to her, Sheriff, and have her?
We can email her a copy of what we have. We'll get in touch with UND because, we don't even have the entire grant right now. They're doing it as a new project right over 3 years through their master's program, I believe. So we will forward all the information that we have to Haley, absolutely.
Okay, I would feel far more comfortable having her take a look at that before it's signed off on. Commissioners, any other questions?
Madam Chair, this is Dave.
Yes, Dave.
I did go over this with Andy a few days ago. It's a win-win for us. There's no downside that I can see at all. And, this helps out UND to get it done quickly and get this approved. So I would move approval subject to a veto power in the state's attorney if he sees that there's some issue. But this way we could get it done in one day.
Thank you, sir. Did you want to add anything to your motion with respect to who would sign off on that, be it Sheriff Schneider or Chair?
It'd probably be quickest if Sheriff Schneider would do it, but if the commission feels it's a chair signature matter, I don't have any objection to that. What do you think?
We'll leave it up to Haley because it makes no difference to me if Haley's okay with what her recommendation would be.
Madam Chair, members of the commission, I'm not familiar with the specifics of this grant, but many grants require the chair's signature for the reason that the position is the one that can bind the county contractually. So I suspect that is likely the case with this one, but I certainly can take a look at it and make a recommendation based on the specifics of the grant.
Okay. So
Madam Chair, would you be available today if?
I am working at the county today on elections, so I will be here, so there should be no problem with that. I'll be either on 6th floor or in Miss Nelson's office. So
That's a safe way to do it, I think. Yeah.
So your
I agree.
motion then includes chair's signature.
For chair signature, yes.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to move forward with chair's signature on the letter of commitment for the University of North Dakota grant proposal. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. So thank you.
Thank you, Madam
That's
Chair,
good.
members of the commission I appreciate it on short notice, and I will absolutely get, that information forwarded to Haley ASAP, and, we'll get it emailed over to you upon her approval.
And then will you stop at the county and have me sign off on it or send it to me? It's just that I may not be home if you send it to me.
If you're in the county building, we'll get it to you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your taking the time. Thank you, Sheriff. We have a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? I'll second it.
Cut it off.
No, I said.